Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening. And it is a little early, I know, right at 6 p.m. on the East Coast. And you're saying, Larry, why in the world would you be coming on at 6 p.m. on the East Coast? Well, because I have something very important to do this evening that I got to rush out to right afterwards. So I had to come on early so I could do a show because I haven't done a show in like forever, 2 days. And I said, you know what? Let me go do a show. I haven't done one in a long time. That's why I'm doing a show. And I probably won't do a show for another couple of days. So I figured, why not do one now and say hi and do what people like so much? The dreaded, or maybe not so dreaded, maybe the happy, the AMA. Yes, the Ask Me Everything or everything. Don't ask me everything. Well, you can if you want to. But maybe the Ask Me Anything you like on this awesome Friday evening. So thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. But I wanted to start it as I always do, as just starting with some idea or concept that I really thought about. Well, it's been bugging me, one or the other. And this has been the idea that I know a lot of people who really love Harris are saying, this is a guarantee. This is a done deal. Harris is going to win. There's no chance. Harris is going to win, guaranteed. And then people who love Trump going, that's it. Trump's going to win, guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. This is not true. This is going to be a close race. Now, could it, as a close race, could it still be a landslide? Kind of, right? It still could kind of be a landslide. Why? Because there's, as you know, there's 7 swing states. And right now, if you look, and I'll give you some, Vivek has been very good. Thank you, Vivek, for this. He says national vote, Harris, 493. Trump, 465, other 4. You know who's part of that other. So yes, so at this moment, looks like Harris is going to win the popular vote. I think she will win the popular vote. I do believe that was true. I think she will win it. But it looks like, as he goes on to say, Harris 251, Trump 27. So Trump winning the electoral vote anyway. And this is based upon average polls. But here's the problem. Vivek is right. And if you will go back 1 week ago and check average polls, it's almost opposite. 1 week ago, it looked like Harris would be winning electoral vote. Now, looks like Trump will. They have basically swapped in 1 week. That could happen again next week again. But here's the biggest piece. While Vivek is correct in what he's saying, each of those polls in those states, almost every one of them is within the margin of error. So it's a tie. It's just leaning one way or the other. So it could be a very tight vote, very tight race. And let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to show you, if I could, I will show you real fast the screen of the one thing that I do love, which is the 270 to win map. 271. Hope you guys all see that. And you see the 7 swing states all in tan right now. Each one of those states could be won easily by just literally 5,000 votes. I'm not even joking. 5,000 votes could easily win any of those states. How do I know that? In 2020, most of those states were won by around 10,000 votes. 10,000 votes for most of those were actually what happened. So, Fahim, thank you so much for your super chat, my friend. $10. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. I do appreciate all the support. By the way, you guys should follow Fahim and click the button that is like. Do it. He's putting up, do it. You could also share this on Twitter or Facebook if you want to. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? Click the bell for notifications. Super chat me as he did, or become a member if you want to. I love that. Members are very important. $5 a month keeps me going. Appreciate it. I'm trying to do as much as I can, as you guys can see. So I do appreciate that. But let me, if I could, go a little bit further on this one. And that is, now let's say each of these states is won by between 5 and 10,000, 15,000. Say average of 10,000. That's 70,000 votes. Probably somewhere around 200 million people will vote. Maybe 190 million, something like that. A lot of people are going to vote. Assumption is, say 200 million people vote. And it's done by 70,000. What's that? What percentage of 1% is that? that like 0.1%, something like that? I don't know the math, but 70,000 out of 200 million or whatever the number might be, 190 million, whatever the case may be. And then you might go, well, then it's going to be a close race. Hold on. Let's assume for a moment that all of these states, these 7 states, say they all go Harris. Every one of them goes Harris. It's 319 to 219. 70,000 votes could be a Harris landslide by 100 electoral votes. But the opposite. Let's say all those swing states go Trump. 312, 226, landslide Trump. 70,000 votes. A close race can still make a landslide either way. Either way. Because if the polls are off, and people go on both sides, right? You can find pundits who will say, well, no, look, really, the polls are off because Trump always does better than the polls. Okay, if that's true, great. Then Trump wins all these things, and it's a landslide, even though it could be 70,000 votes. Or the reverse. Oh, no, they've overcompensated. I've heard that from the left. They've overcompensated, because they knew that was for Trump. And so in reality, it's actually Harris is going to be stronger. Okay, if that's true, she gets a landslide. 70,000 votes. I think this election will be decided less than 100,000 votes, maybe less than 50,000 votes. I'm not sure it'll be a landslide either way, but I cannot see a landslide of a popular vote. I can't see that. I can see a landslide electoral vote. That could happen. That could happen. But a landslide of popular vote, I don't see it. I can't imagine that. I'd be willing to bet against. That I'll predict. There will not be a landslide of popular vote. That I think is obvious. It's really simple. Anybody would do it. That's not really I'm not putting my neck out on that one. There's not going to be a landslide of popular vote, but there could be. I want you to see that to understand that that's what people are talking about landslide, even though it may be not a massive popular vote. I've already been very open in my prediction. I think the order will be as follows for popular vote. It will be Harris, Trump, RFK Jr., Jill Stein, Chase Oliver, Cornel West. That is my prediction for popular vote, right? For popular vote. But electoral, I don't know where this is going. I don't know where it's going. So let me grab some comments and I'll take your questions, of course. Thank you, by the way, for Vivek for that. And of course, also thank you, Fahim, for what you did. I do appreciate that. AC is here. Hey, Sharpies, how are you? I'm glad you are here. I do appreciate it. And I got on time, which is even nicer too. I do appreciate that. So, all righty. Mike, Impressions and Reviews says, going to see the Trump biopic tonight, The Apprentice. Here's what I heard about the movie. I have not seen it, but I heard that it's not about his presidency at all, that it actually ends in the 80s. It's about him, it's about him kind of growing up, if that makes any sense, and becoming the guy that he is as an apprentice to somebody else. That's what I heard the movie's about. Maybe you'll let me know after you've seen it, if that's what it's about. And people have told me, from the people who, people have told me, I've heard people review it. I'm sorry. I've heard people review it, say that it really isn't heavily political in that regard at all. And if you are a pro-Trump or anti-Trump, you could see what you wanted in either one. I hope that's true. That would be a great movie if it actually is just, oh, if I like Trump, I'll like it. If I hate Trump, I'll hate it. I'll still feel the same way about him, right? Either way, that would be much better than it's a hit piece or it's a puff piece. I hope that's true. Let me know, Mike, when you're done. That'd be amazing. I appreciate it. Dina says, we missed you. Oh, thank you. I miss doing it. That's why I'm doing it. Yes, that's why I'm doing it. Yes. So there we go. All righty. The AC says a bunch of people haven't. It's been weird. Yeah, this is if you're in politics at all, as I am clearly, this is a very busy time. It's the third quarter. How can I say that? I was going to say it's 3 weeks, but it's the fourth quarter, right? It's the fourth quarter. It's the end. It's a 2-minute warning. Like, we are really trying to make things happen if we can with any politician we can possibly get on. It's been a lot. Yes. Kim says, been missing you too. Oh, thank you. I couldn't take 2 more days before a show. Thank you so much for your show. I appreciate that. That's amazing. Thank you. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. The AC says, anything's possible with Electoral College and the voter suppression efforts being pulled. I am concerned about this. And this is the part that bothers me, AC. You're right. And it bothers me because you're not the only one who thinks that. And I'll be on 2 parts that matter. and please hear me, let me finish before you yell at me, if anyone's be yelling at me. It actually doesn't matter if there is voter suppression or voter issues. What actually matters is, do people have transparency and trust? Because if you have transparency and trust, you can fix these things. When people give up, now we're finished. When people don't want to get it, we're finished. So you have to assume that every election, someone's going to try to do some funky stuff, because people do funky stuff. People try to cheat. People do. That's a way of life, is what happens. So we have to have two things: trust that we can fix it, so people try to fix it, and two, transparency, so we can actually believe that, okay, this is right or wrong, or this one was right, this one was wrong. And sadly, I'm not sure we have either. So I get your concern completely. Now, electoral college, second piece. I'm not against an electoral college. I'm against the current system. How about that? I'm against the current system the way it works now. But the concept of an electoral I'm not against the concept of it. What I mean by that, you do want to give states some form of autonomy. I am against the popular vote when it comes to national. Larry, why? No, here's the reason why. Cities will dominate everything. It will be unfair. If we go to popular vote, we are begging the country to break apart. We're begging people we're begging for problems. We're just begging for it. It's not how the country works. So do I think the way it works now is great? No, it's too crazy now, right? And this is my opinion. Some of you be mad at me if you want to, but it's my opinion. The idea that Wyoming has the same number of senators as California, crazy. The idea that individual states are winner take all, crazy, right? I'm not happy with all those things, but if you adjust it a bit to be fairer, you do want to give smaller states, population-wise, I mean, obviously, smaller states, some type of rights, some type of defense. Otherwise, the bigger states will just dominate. You don't want New York and California running the country. That's just not a good thing. Whether you live in New York, California or not, it's unfair to other states. So you would have some form of something like this, but to your point, this one isn't working well, right? This one could be repaired. There are many ways we could fix it. It isn't working well, but I personally do not want to go to popular vote for national elections like this. I think that would, imagine if why would anybody ever go to Idaho? Why would they ever go to Wyoming? Why would anyone ever go to South Dakota? Why would they ever go to these states? Ever. They would no one would ever go to these states. No one will go there. Why would they? You'd campaign in California, New York, and Texas, and Florida. You'd campaign in 4 states. That's it. You campaign in California, Texas, New York, and Florida. That's all you campaign in, and in the cities. And that'd be it. No one would ever go to Kansas. No one would ever go to Nebraska. They'd never go. And you might go, well, Larry, why do I care? Because they're states and they're Americans. That's why. And you got to give them something, some reason to do something. So I know some of you don't like it. I know. But I do think that states do matter. And I think the people in the middle of the country also matter. They're also Americans. We have to do something. So something like that. So anyway, Phil says, my prediction, every state gold. I hope you are correct. That would be amazing. Yes. Mike goes on to say, Trump may win popular due to Florida, Texas, and his push for rallies in California, New York. The reason why he's pushing, some don't realize that, in California, New York, places like that, is not for the popular vote. It isn't why he's pushing for it. I mean, he'll get some. I mean, it will work. Like, he will get some more votes for showing up. He will, because Democrats aren't showing up there, because why bother? So he will get some. But he's actually doing that. Mike Voss has been bringing this up a lot on the show. Often he's been bringing this up. It's the idea of the Senate and the House. So he's been going there to try to get local Senate races. Local congressional races and Senate races, trying to get them up and running and doing something. He's trying to help those out more than anything else. In New York State, he's not going to get a Senate race, right? New York's not going to give a Senate up. But New York does have a bunch of red congressional districts, and he is trying to make sure those districts stay red or turn red. And that might work. Like, that's effective, right? That gets people out, start caring. The problem in states like California, New York, is the Republicans in these states often just give up. They go, why bother? It doesn't matter. I don't care. Who cares? We can't win. We've been losing forever. Well, all of a sudden Trump shows up and they go, huh, okay, maybe we got a shot at this one. And then more Republican voters get out. It definitely gets the vote out, gets people excited. It gets people who weren't going to vote at all to stop voting, right? So it increases the odds of a Republican either taking the seat or keeping the seat, because the Democrats also start becoming, why bother? We're going to win. That also happens. So you find a lot of congressional seats that people just go, whatever, doesn't matter. We know who's going to win. They stop showing up. Well, Trump shows up. Republicans go, whoa, okay. And then independents who just didn't care go, oh, if Trump's going to come, maybe I'll vote for him. And people might go, wait a minute, why would you do that? Because when someone shows up, they care. I'll give you an example. When I was running for office, when I was running for governor in 2018, I would go to the North Country. For those who don't know, New York State has very limited population in the North Country. It's mountainous, it's forested. It's much more wilderness than the rest of the state. So there's less people who live there. In fact, to give you the example, New York State's largest county is Brooklyn, 2.3 million. Last I checked, it may be more now, or less maybe. We've been losing population, but last I checked, 2.3 million. And the smallest one's Hamilton County. That's North Country, 4,500. So I would go to certain towns in those areas up there, and literally everybody would show up. Like the mayor would come. Why? Because politicians don't go to those places. There aren't many votes there. So I would show up in those places. So in some of those counties, precincts, not counties, precincts in those areas, I got like 26, 27% of the vote. And I go, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, it's 100 voters. There's 100 voters in the precinct. 100 voters, I got 26 of them, which still is amazing by percentage, because the point is I show up. So my point being, Trump shows up, more people will vote. It's just the way it is. Those people showed up and voted for me because I showed up for them. Trump shows up, people vote. That is a smart thing. It's why Harris is spending her time in Arizona and Nevada, but so is everybody else. So it isn't as impactful. Trump showing up in California or California or New York is actually a very good move for him. I give him total credit for it. Or his team, whoever's thinking of it, whether it's his team or himself. Great move. It motivates people to show up. It will increase him in a popular vote. I don't think he cares about that. He just wants to win. So I don't think he cares about the popular vote very much, but it will help him to, if he does win, to maintain, Congress, maybe to win the Senate, who knows? That's why he's doing that kind of stuff. And of course, raising money, right? This now keeps the New York GOP, when he shows up in New York, raises tons of money. They know it. Like, yes, ton of money. So they raise a bunch of money, and maybe he goes to Long Island. They raise a bunch of money. Well, the New York GOP now could put that in any race. Well, if there's a race in Central New York, maybe Hudson Valley, that's struggling, they can now throw money into that race. So Trump allows them, the state GOP, to put money into races that matter, even if he isn't physically there. So I know I went long on that, Mike, but I want to explain why he's doing it, right? He's not only doing it for the popular vote. In fact, I think that's one of his lower reasons for doing it. There are so many other reasons that he should be doing that. Harris should be doing it too, but she's not. If I'm her, I'm sending Waltz to every one of those states. I would. She did send Waltz on Fox News. She sent Waltz into all the red states. Send Waltz in Iowa. I would. But she's also sending him in Wisconsin, Michigan, all those things. It'll make the Democratic establishment happier. Then again, maybe it doesn't matter as much, as I start thinking about it. Because Harris has raised a whole lot more money. And it has a larger organization. So maybe. Mike, okay. Whoa, Mike is making a prediction. Okay, Mike, you're not playing games. Trump 302. All right, I am at one point going to have to make a prediction. I can't not do that. And I did it before, but now I got to wait. I was right in 2020. I was wrong in 2016. I did not think Trump was going to win in 2016. I was like, there's no way. I did not think. I was completely wrong in 2016. 2020, I was right. I haven't made a prediction yet in 2024. Only on popular vote. I made that prediction you heard me say it just now. I'm going to scam, Mike. I mean, kudos to you for doing it. I got to wait a couple weeks. Or a week at least, maybe 2. I got to see. I'm not ready to predict yet. I'm just not ready. So anyway, good for you. KG says, Jill Stein and Dr. Butch wear 24. Jill is leading Harris in Michigan. This, KG, this is very, yes. Okay, let me chat on this piece. Jill Stein is why I think she's going to come in 3rd. I'm sorry, 4th. I still think RFK Jr. is going to have more votes because there's enough people who just still love him and will vote for him. They just will. They love anyone to vote for him. But I think Jill Stein comes right behind him because of stuff like this. What the Democrats have done in their attempt to harm her is they go on the attack. Now, here's the situation. The DNC decided, okay, our bad guy is RFK Jr., and they put all their guns on him. Now, sadly for RFK Jr., he was not a seasoned independent. Jill Stein is, or a seasoned third partier, I should say. So at the end, he said, this is too much. I'm out, and jump on the Trump train. Jill Stein is jumping on nobody's train. She's a seasoned third party. Chase Oliver's not jumping on somebody's train. He's going to go to the end, right? Dr. Cornel West, I don't know, but I think at this point, he'll probably go to the end, right? But Jill Stein and Chase Oliver are seasoned third-party candidates. They're going to the end no matter what, right? The DNC doesn't know any better. It just knows attack. That's all it knows. So it went out of its way to attack RFK Jr. It went out of its way to try to keep him out of the press, ambush him whenever possible, put out horrible stuff, and it worked. RFK Jr. dropped out and went to Trump. Okay. DNC goes, see, it works. Who's next on our list? Jill Stein. So now they're like, okay, let's get rid of her now, next. So after her. But the problem is she's not going to drop. It doesn't matter. She's going to run to the end. It does not matter. And as they attack her, they make her more valid. She was getting less attention before, KG. Remember, she didn't get any TV shows. She wasn't on any radio shows. All of a sudden, RFK Jr. dropped. They put her on. Why? They want to ambush her. They want to beat her up. They think they're going to beat Stein and wear up. That's their goal. Beat him up, attack him. They'll drop out. That's not how that works, DNC. The problem is DNC only has one tool. It's a hammer. That's all they have. So you just keep hitting things. Just keep hitting stuff because they only got a hammer. So anyway, yes, with that in mind, it's possible that Jill Stein is the reason why Trump wins Michigan. That's actually a real thing because the people who aren't voting Harris aren't going to Trump. I mean, some of them are, but the majority aren't. The majority of people who would have voted Harris and don't like Harris are actually going Jill Stein. I don't think she'll win Michigan. It is my opinion. If anybody knows Jill Stein or anybody cares, whatever, it is my opinion. She should put all of her time, money, and energy into Michigan and try to win it. That's my opinion. If I was running her campaign, if I was advised, I'd be like, everybody who is near Michigan, pack up. Let's rent out some Airbnbs / hotels, whatever. Put them there. All energy into Michigan. Take Michigan. All money into Michigan. All stops in Michigan. And I'm saying abandon the rest of the campaign. I'm not even joking. Now you guys think I'm crazy. I don't care. I'm still right. Abandon everything else and win Michigan. Why? Because if she comes in fourth with whatever, 1% of the vote, 2% of the vote, whatever that number is, she'll be forgotten. Like every other third-party candidate will be and has been for the past 50 years. But if she turns Michigan green, and on that map, there's a bunch of red, a bunch of blue, and Michigan is green, she was the spoiler of spoilers. She made the Green Party real. You will watch people flock to the Green Party. You will watch money and talent, press flock to the Green Party. You will see it. They will have ballot access to 50 states in 2028. Guaranteed. Because people will see it as real, as a win. Nothing. There's no substitute for victory. None. I know. I've been doing this for years. And the only victory I had was 2018 when I got ballot access. Since then, no one cares what I do. They don't care. Because I haven't won. They care about winning. I know that. When I got my butt kicked in 2022 and won nothing, they were like, Larry who? Larry who? Nobody cares who I am. When I won ballot access, I'm a star. Everybody loves me. I got tons of best friends. 2022, I lose everything? Larry, I forgot Larry. I don't know who Larry is. All of a sudden, someone knows who I am. I know that winning matters. If she would actually win Michigan, turn that green, people go, that's dumb, Larry. What's she going to do in the future? That's because you don't understand how politics works if you were to say that. If there's green on that map, I wanted it with gold. That's why I put Lars Mapstead up to be the president nominee. He would have won something. He'd have come up with a win. But Libertarians are like, we don't want that. We want to throw our time away for this useless campaign again. And they did it again. And then nothing's going to happen, of course. I wanted for Bobby Kennedy Jr. I wanted him to win a state. They were like, we're not doing it either. We do okay, whatever. Don't listen to Larry Sharpe. Fine, don't listen to me. I don't care. And we'll all be forgotten. Again, another throwaway year. Jill Stein should throw everything into Michigan. Everything. Every dollar she has, every donor she has, every volunteer she has, go to every single diner, every single local newspaper, move there and have where move there too. Take Michigan, turn it green, change everything. You will watch people go, oh my God, they won a state. They're winners. Green Party never was anything, except it decided the last election by winning Michigan. Pikachu face. Oh, yes, that's what happens all of a sudden. All of a sudden, money comes in, talent comes in. Jesse Ventura is like, what was I thinking? I should have been a green guy. Yes, everything changes. The party becomes real with a victory. Victory matters more than that's what's remembered. That green will be on that map. Green will be on that map for the next 4 years if she takes Michigan. Anyway, they're not going to listen to me. They won't. But that's the truth. That's what should happen. So, KG, you see it, or you wouldn't be saying this. You see it. Everything. Remember, it's a three-way race. She doesn't require 51%. She requires about 35, 45%. Either one. 30 to 45%. She wins. She wins Michigan. Yes. Anyway, Pingball says, this seems like a really inefficient way to elect the president, but what do I do? No, you're right. This is not the most effective way at all. It is not. It is grossly ineffective. Inefficient. Grossly, you're correct. That's why I say I don't like this system. You are right. All I'm saying is there needs to be some way of caring about smaller states than flyover states, as they say. You don't want to just abandon them, right? Same reason why I want a third party. If people have a voice, they don't resort to violence. They use their voice. When people have no voice, they resort to violence. I don't want that. So we do have to somehow have a way of making this happen. I could probably come up with maybe a solution on that coming up here. I could probably come up with an answer. But something is all I'm saying. We can't just ignore the smaller states or the country will suffer. The country will suffer. So yes. All righty. James says, it's crazy how everyone in the duopoly wants to spend money to campaign instead of spending that money on making life better, like healthcare, security, business growth, etc. Yeah, because power is what matters. I would say if you want to always be employed or always have work, there are 3 fields, general fields, that you probably want to look at because the odds are very high you'll always have some kind of income. Odds are. I mean, you never know. Stuff goes bad, but odds are. Healthcare, vice, and politics. Because people get sick. People want their vices, good or bad, no matter what. And lastly, everybody wants power. And that's what politics is, just power. So if you're in one of those 3, you're good. I chose politics. I chose the dirtiest of them all. You might go, vice is the dirtiest. No. Vice is far cleaner than politics. Healthcare is the cleanest. Vice is in the middle. And politics is the dirtiest. So pick the one you think, whichever one. I went to dirtiest. But to quote Pickerbell, what do I know? Also, what Pickerbell says is quantify landslide, please. I would say a landslide out of 450, 470, right? No. Yeah, 470, right? Yeah. No, 270. 270. Thank you. 470. No, 435, or 438, which means 270. Yeah, 438 total, 270. I would say if you win by give or take half of that, so 130 or so, 100, 130, that's kind of like a landslide. I think that's possible in this one case. If all 7 states go to one person, that's how I would say landslide. If all 7 states go to one person, I think either one could win by over 100. That's how I would define it. I hope that was clear. So, yeah. All righty. So that covers your second point also. That's my point. Okay. All righty. Maximum Libertarian says, hello, Larry, with all the infighting to the LP, would you want to be chair? If not, who would? Okay. People constantly ask me to be chair. I know you didn't, but this is like every month someone's asking me to be chair. The answer is not just no, but hell no. Let me explain why people don't get it. People constantly thinking, well, the chair does this wrong, does that wrong. It is a voluntary position. This isn't the DNC or RNC. All the chairs and all the officers of the RNC and DNC make 6 figures a year to do their job. It's their full-time job. They make 6 figures a year. You want to pay me 6 figures a year? You know some donor who will pay me 6 figures a year? I'll take it up. Well, Larry, don't you care about the party? I care about paying my bills and making impact. Those 2 things, paying my bills, making impact. I go out of my way to do both. I try to make impact and pay my bills. I don't always make impact, but I try to make impact. I also pay my bills. I do pay my bills, but I also like to make impact, and I try. Me being chair, for what? So I can not pay my bills and not make impact? It's exactly the opposite of what I want. Somebody wants to, if you know somebody who says, Larry, don't worry about it. I got you covered. I'll give you 6 figures a year to be the chair. Done. Take that job in a heartbeat. But here's the problem. You start doing 6 figures a year, people would want that job because it's 6 figures a year. I'd be fighting to get that job because everybody would want it. Yes. You know how many people want to be the chair of the RNC? A lot. Chair of the NC? A lot would like that. That's why there's deputy chairs and all that kind of good stuff because they all get paid. Of course. So you're asking someone, and look, I was that way when Nick was the chair. It's a voluntary position. I was that way when Whitney was the chair. Where do you ever hear me scream about the chair is terrible, they should step down? I don't do that. They're volunteering their time to do the best they can. And it doesn't draw, I mean, not trying to insult anybody, but I'm just being very forward. It's not like it draws tons of people of talent to go there. So you get to go be a chair of a party. You're yelled at and attacked whenever anything goes wrong. It's your fault when anything goes wrong. It's not a business where you're the boss and you could just do things. It's very hard to get things done because you have other people who are also all volunteers. They're all volunteers. The entire budget of Libertarian Party, the entire one, a national, about $2 million, give or take, depends on what year, about $2 million. $2 million. That's one race, one candidate. Democratic Republican Party. One race, one candidate. That's our yearly budget. Libertarians are the third largest party in the country, but it's like Democrats, Republicans, and then all the way down, massive gap, Libertarians. So, no. They might go, well, who do you want as feature chair? I don't care. I don't mean to be mean, but I don't care. Is it going to matter? Are we making impact? No. I care who our local candidates are. I want us to have good local candidates. I don't care who chair is. I don't care. You can be it. I don't care. It's not going to change anything. I don't care. You pick. What difference does it make? If we can't get a candidate, sorry, as far as the national, it'll be very clear. As far as the national party it goes, if we can't get a presidential candidate who figures out this 50-state plan is stupid and never going to work, and understands you have to raise money, it matters. To raise money, you have to. If you can't raise money, don't run. To stop about virtue signaling. The people who run for president in our party can't raise any money and still do it and think, I'm going to make impact. No, they don't. It's they're doing it to virtue signal, or they're doing it for vanity projects. Why do you think I'd run for president? Because I don't want a vanity project. I have one. You're looking at it. I have a vanity project. I'm good. I've already been on Joe Rogan. I'm good. I don't require the vanity project anymore. I got it going right now. I'm good. So I'm not doing it for a vanity project. I'm not trying to virtue signal. I hate virtue signaling. I'm not going to virtue signal. I'll vote. I'll virtue signal then. So I'm only going to run if I can make impact. And if that's why I would have run with Lars Mapstead, who was going to make impact. So, do you ever hear me talk about the LP? Never. I don't even talk about it. It's not a thing. I talk about when you or someone else brings it up. Otherwise, I don't talk about it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a throwaway year. It's a throwaway year. And it's a throwaway year because of tactics and strategy, not because of the individual. Right? I have nothing against Chase. I know people don't like Chase. I think it's silly. Chase is a fine libertarian. I like him personally. I might even write him in for New York because I don't have anybody else on my ballot anymore. I threw RFK off the ballot. So I have no one on my ballot now to vote for. So I might even write him in. Right? So I have nothing against it. Some of you who hate Chase be mad at me. I don't care. You be mad at me. I have nothing against Chase. Good libertarian. I know people don't like some of his policies. Whatever. There's lots of libertarians I would vote for, but I don't like all their policies. It's fine. I have nothing against him at all. Just to be very forward, his policies on running, right? His strategy on running is the same as everybody else's. And none of the other ones worked, and this won't work either. It has nothing to do with him. And it doesn't raise enough money. His team doesn't think raising enough money either isn't talented enough or isn't focusing on it or didn't know any better. And my point is, then why the hell did you run? I didn't. The second Lars Mapstead didn't make the presidency, I dropped out. I'm like, yeah. Why don't you be VP? Why? For what? I have a vanity project. I'm good. I don't need this. I'm sorry I went long on that, but you brought up LP stuff, so you got me going. That's your fault, Maximum. Just blaming somebody else. That's good. All righty. Let's see here. Phil says, it's going to be hilarious when Harris recognizes an alternative slate of electors. Do you think that's possible? That would be amazing if that were to happen. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. I mean, it'd be a disaster, but it would be. We would watch that train just. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. 100%. So, all right. Mike goes on to say, but Larry, the current system is due to Article 2. Yeah, I'm not. No. Look, I'm not saying that it's unconstitutional. It's clearly constitutional. It's written in the Constitution. That's not my argument. And I wouldn't want to change it until I had a good plan. And I don't have one yet. So it's tough for me to say that. But I don't like the way it is now. I think it should change. But I would not advocate changing for it yet because I don't have a good plan yet. If I had a good plan, I would want to advocate for it. And it would have to be an amendment. You're right. It would have to be an amendment to the Constitution. We'd have to make an amendment to the Constitution to change this system. We'd have to. And I'm not sure that we're there yet. But I get what you're saying, Mike. I'm not saying it's unconstitutional. It's clearly constitutional. So, yes. All righty. All righty. Liberty or Death says, voting on paper is the closest we get to transparency. We should not use electronic machines. Yeah, unless there was some form of trustworthy open source. Now, I don't know if that's real. I'm not techie enough to know that, Liberty or Death. So that I may have just said something that you cannot do. I don't really know that. But maybe. So, Cam, thank you for the 99 cents. I really appreciate it. And you always keep showing up. Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. I love that you keep showing up. It does matter. Even this time much earlier, I thought you might be in trouble if I did so early. But yes, you made it. I love that. Yeah. Pinkerberg goes on to say, I'm talking about winner take all versus more favoritism with those EC points. Yes, and I'm okay with that too. Like that would be an okay system. But if you say somehow did something as an example, that the majority person still got a good chunk more, similar to how Maine does it, right? Similar. Maine, if I remember right, how Maine does it, whoever wins the state gets 2. And then each one separately gets 1. I think that's how it works. Or something like that. Nebraska does something like that too, right? So like if you win the state, you get 1 by default because you won the state. And then individual areas, you can also win separately. So if you have 3 congressional districts, right, you would win each one by congressional district. And then winning the state gets you 1 or whatever, 1 or 2. So the amount of electors you get, if I remember this right, it is 2 senators. It's all your representatives. So it's 2 senators plus everyone in Congress. So you could say give the 2 senators whoever wins the state and the Congress by the districts. That would be fair too, right? But as long as the person who wins get a big chunk, and that's the point of it when it comes to the issue. They wanted it to be the purpose of the founders was to make it heavily represented that a state represents something. So I think you'd have to have some breakup like that if you did that, which I'm okay with that concept also. Then that could work, right? Whoever wins the state gets the 2 senators, and then by congressional district, that would still work, right? Each congressional district who wins gets that point. Do that too. And that also would make people travel across the states, right? The reason why I'd be okay with that is that would mean, say, for example, in Nebraska's example, or even Montana in theory, because there was this one big area that's kind of urbanized, a little Democratic in Montana. It would give you a reason to go to those states to get that 1 or 2 votes, right? If nothing else, to take it away from the other guy. Because Texas has blue districts. So if you're a Democrat, you fight in Texas to get the blue districts, if you can get them. If you're a Republican, you come to New York to get the red districts. So I think you could do that. I agree with your concept. That concept was good as long as there's still some way of the winner gets more, if that makes any sense. Yeah. All righty. Peace Logic, how are you, sir? Thank you for the $5. Good evening, Larry. Who puts out the best accurate polls? Do they keep asking the same people? It's all mixed. All right. Most people don't realize this. Polls are commissioned in some way, right? So polls, they don't just go, I'm going to make a poll. Someone buys the poll, right? So that's why this is not a nonprofit industry. This is a professional, for-profit industry. So if they're bad at what they do, less people will pick them. Some of them lean left or right on purpose, because that's why you hear things like internal polls versus regular polls. Regular polls aren't done for information. They're done for marketing, right? Internal polls are made for information. So a poll that, say, whatever Trump puts out, he's going to put out a poll that, to the best of his ability, makes Trump look as good as he can. His internal polls will be much more clear because they want to know what their problems are so they can try to fix them. If that makes sense. But external polls are really done for marketing. So if I know there is a company that tends to lean left or lean right, if I'm a Democrat, I pick the lean left one. I'm a Republican, I pick the lean right one because the odds are I'm paying for it. I want a poll I can use. So the best accurate polls are those done internally because those are real ones. The ones put out, maybe. One of the most accurate, believe it or not, has been, and it'll make some of you angry, New York Times. New York Times has been some of the most accurate polling. It has been pretty good. But this is what Mike Voss said the whole time. One of the best things you can do is take the averages. The averages is usually the averages are the closest to reality usually. Again, sometimes they're off, but they're usually the best is going to be the averages because, again, Democrats, Republicans are both buying lots of polls. You average them out, it tends to be your best piece. Hope that answers your question. So, all righty, go down here if I can. All righty. So many, I appreciate that. All right. Pickerbell says him showing up in states he's probably not going to win to help Republicans win down ballot. Yes, agree that. Yes, that's true. 100%. That's why he's doing it. Correct. Thank you for that. You might have said that before I said it, but yes, that is correct. All righty. Mike Voss says Harris can't. She has too many issues to appear in red states. She needs young college Dems and progressives who don't care about news media. Yeah, but then she can just go to the colleges, right? There are blue dots in every red state, right? You go to the college campus or you go to a blue city within a red state, right? You can still do it. She just didn't want to. You tell me she can't go to Austin in Texas? She could. It's a blue dot in Texas. There's tons of them. You can find it all over the place, right? You can find blue dots in red states and just go there. Just go to colleges. That's what Cornel West is doing. Cornel West, his entire campaign now is just college to college, university to university. So it looks like he's doing a lot of great work because everyone's clapping, everyone's loving him. He's on college campuses. So you could find it. She doesn't want to. But she could do it. She's not doing it. So yes. All righty. B says, hello, do you think there's a point in voting RFK, split in California? Do you think RFK supporters might as well vote for Trump at this point? Again, I'm going to tell you my opinion. A lot of you guys don't like it. If you do not live in a swing state, why would you vote for Trump or Harris? I live in New York. Why would I vote for Trump? For what reason? He's not going to win New York. I don't care. Why do I vote for Harris? She's going to win New York, right? Whatever you lean left or right, you know who's going to win. It's clear. If you're not in a swing state, if you're in one of those 7 states, you got to rethink. But you're in California. I'm in New York. Why would you? It will have no impact, right? Now you are lucky. RFK Jr. will be on your ballot. He won't be on mine. So you could actually vote for him. I got to write somebody in. I don't know who I'm writing in. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll write Chase Oliver in, make the maximum libertarian happy. Maybe I'll do that. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's virtue. My vote now is a virtue signal. My vote has no ability. Does nothing. My vote now is a virtue signal. It doesn't mean anything, right? No one's going to count. They're not going to count the write-ins because they don't in New York. They don't count them. It doesn't matter. They say they do, but they don't. I know because when I was writing, no one paid attention. No one told me how many my vote total was in 2022. I was writing in 2022. No one told me who my vote total was. They didn't count. They didn't care. So yeah, doesn't really matter. But for you, you can your votes will count. If you want RFK Jr. to do well, to have leverage, vote for RFK Jr. Well, it doesn't matter. You decide. Abel asked, why aren't you voting for Trump? I just told you why. It doesn't matter for me. I don't know if that was for me or for somebody else. It doesn't matter what I do, right? If Trump wins this election, he will win without New York State if he wins. Either way, and it's how he won last time. If he wins, he'll win without New York State. If he loses, he'll lose without New York State. He's not getting New York State either way. And I know people are going to say they're going to say that he's not getting New York State. I'm prepared to say that. I said that last year. It's not going to happen. I know the state well. The people who would vote for Trump have been leaving this state in droves for years. New York made Florida red. I'm not making that up. So many New Yorkers came. There was one time during, was it 2018, 2019? When was that? I forgot. I did a stat, I did a show on this. There were 3,000 New Yorkers changing their license over to Florida every month. Think about that. 3,000 New Yorkers changing over there. That's 10 a day. Changing their license over to Florida. Times that by 12 and keep going for years. Changing over. Boom, changing over. Boom, boom. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was 6,000. I'm sorry, it was 6,000. It was 6,000 every month to change the license over to Florida. So, yeah, New York Republicans made Florida red. That's what happened. They've been doing it for years. So, no, it's not going to happen. So, Mike Voss says Stein takes a strong third. Oh, in Michigan. Okay. That will terrify the Democratic Party. I'm with you. I think that's obvious. I think that's obvious. I agree with that 100%. I think Democrats will ignore her. I disagree completely. They'll ignore her. Because the next time they run, things will change. Israel will be back to its status quo that it's been for the past 50 years. Israel will be back to its status quo by the next time, the next presidential race. Israel will be back to status quo. Palestinians will still be screwed. Israel will still have terrible borders. It'll be back to status quo. That's always is. And they'll forget about this. And then move on to the next big thing. I think the first part you said is correct. Second part, Dems will not care at all. As if the Dems win, they will not care at all. Now, if they lose, they will. But you're right. If they lose, they win, they don't care. Whatever. Didn't scare them. The Republicans get scared when the third parties are doing well? No, because Democrats just destroy the system. Said, we'll get rid of the entire system. No. All good. All right. Mike goes on and says, RFK said, don't vote for me in Michigan. Disagree. I think Stein is third-party Michigan vote. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. I can see it. Kim says, I still have hope for contingent election. Look, can it happen? Yes, it can. I think the odds are insanely slim. But maybe, right? If one of the states begins to turn, if people start doing it, I think there is a chance. I don't want to say there's no chance, Kim. I just think the odds are really slim, right? I think they're really slim. That's the issue. So James says, to answer your question, Abel, I have a chance to make impact in North Carolina by helping third parties retain ballot access. Valid. See, that's impact. James is correct. That's impact. That's impact. If you don't live in a swing state, right? And you think that your vote could help a third party stay on the ballot. For those who don't know, many states, not all, but many states have a percentage you need to get in a statewide election to retain, to be able to be on the ballot. It's often 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever that might be. In New York State, it's 2%. Doesn't matter when I'm on the ballot, but it's 2% in New York State. Many states are different. If you're in a situation, you make impact now. Now you're in a virtue signaling. James is correct. You could actually help somebody stay on the ballot by making that vote. At that point, it's a valid reason for you to vote. That's the issue. So yes. So, all right, let's see if I can do this. Daniel says, Abel, I'm still watching for Trump to promote Maha from the stump. Until then, I think he's not real. Guys, I've been saying this for a while. I'm still waiting for the Maha town hall. You waiting for that? I'm waiting. I know you guys got mad at me. Some of you did when I said it wasn't going to happen. And it didn't happen. I said it wasn't going to happen. It didn't happen. When's it rescheduled for? Oh, wait. It's not. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Look, I do. I hope I'm wrong. I do hope I'm wrong. Really, I do. I hope I'm wrong. We'll see. So, Pinkerbell says, question for all y'all. I like that. If RFK said to vote for Harris instead of Trump, would you? I mean, me, no, because I'm not voting for either no matter what, right? So personally, me, no, but that's for me. But for the rest of the people, what would I be thinking? I think probably not, for one reason. It would depend, because Harris wouldn't embrace him. Now, if Harris embraced him, I think you get a lot of Harris votes. But Harris is never going to embrace him. Remember, RFK Jr. is a traitor and must be destroyed. But if Harris actually embraced him and said, you know what, you're right, Maha, the whole way, or whatever they wouldn't call that. They call it, I guess, was it freedom and joy now? Freedom and joy and health, or whatever. They make up a thing if they did that, freedom and joy and health, and gave him a platform. I think you find lots of people who would. I think many people would do that. Some people who supported RFK Jr. are now going back to Harris. That's still a thing. We've done polling on this. Some people are going back to Harris. They are, because they never liked Trump in the first place. But it's a small percentage. The vast majority are going to Trump. That's true. Like we've done the data. We know this. The majority of people who were supporting Bobby Kennedy Jr., the majority, if I remember last, about 55%, give or take, in that area, actually are going right to Trump. About 30% are going to Harris, and the rest are doing something else, either staying with RFK Jr. or doing something else. So only about 25%, give or take 20% in that area, are actually staying with RFK right now. So to Abel's point, most people are going to Trump. So most people are getting Trump's vote, those who were RFK supporters. A small chunk, I think under 30%, are actually going to Harris. And then another chunk, about 20% or so, are just staying with RFK Jr. or going to either Chase or to Jill Stein or no place. So I hope that answers your question. So yes. So from Rumble, I have Gerard asking, is Harris the worst presidential candidate of all time? No, she's not. That is an exaggeration. She is not. There are worse. She is, to be forward with you, as far as candidates go, she's not a good candidate. With her advantages, she's advantage in money, in team, in time, in story, in media. She has lots of advantages. She should be crushing Trump, but she's not a good candidate. That's the problem. When she goes out, she looks bad. She has things to say. She has no good policy. So she looks bad. She's not a good candidate. If she was a great candidate, she'd be. If she was a Clinton, like Bill Clinton when in the 90s, Bill Clinton with all of that today, I mean, obviously he's a bit older, but younger, right? 90s Bill Clinton with these advantages destroys Trump because Clinton is a great candidate. Again, I said candidate. The question I got from Rumble was candidate. So yes, I did not say president. I said candidate. So as far as a candidate goes, Bill Clinton's an amazing candidate. He's a great candidate. You have a Bill Clinton here with all the advantages Harris has. Bill Clinton destroys. I mean, landslide, electoral, he destroys Trump because all the advantages and a great candidate. She has all the advantages and she's a terrible candidate. That's why she's even able to do what she does, because she has all the other advantages. Otherwise, Trump would be destroying her. But Trump's team, sadly, has shown itself to be not great. And some of you be mad. I'm sorry. Not great. Doing some things right, and I've been given credit where credit is due. Been doing some things right. They're not a bad team. But Harris's team is on the money. They have been able to shift and adjust and put this person at the right spots, the right time, just make her enough. I think she is trying to push going out more. And they're like, get back in the basement. We don't want you out anymore. So yes. Another one from Rumble. Is Jill Stein and Chase Alva being sued in every state? No, not every state, but Stein in a bunch. Stein's being sued in a bunch. So's Cornel West. Yes, a bunch. They've been winning, though, some of these because the focus has been RFK Jr. So they haven't spent as much money on those two, but now they're being sued in many states, just so you're aware that it has happened. Stein, they're trying to get Stein off of the ballot in a couple states. So she, I think, has made, she's 42 states. So they threw her off on like 8, something like that. So yeah. Chase, I think, has 43. So they sued him off a bunch too. He couldn't get 50. Yeah. So yes. All righty. Let's see here. I don't know what this comment is. Texan Spicery says NCOs must act without orders when necessary, ensuring unit efficiency. Yes. I don't know why that matters, but it's Ask Me Anything. So yes. He then goes on to say, what happened to the backbone of the Army? I'll tell you what happened. Our military still wins most battles and still is very strong. But there is an issue with our military, is that we are having trouble bringing on the right people. We are. It's just true. We're struggling to bring on the right people. A lot of people who would be in the military aren't joining. That's the issue with our military. And it's making a weaker, still, again, relative to other nations, America still has an amazing non-commissioned officer class. There's no doubt about that. Ask anybody. Anybody will tell you that. It's still amazing. It isn't at our peak. And the reason why is the NCO class tends to be younger, and which means we need a lot of recruits. We haven't had as many recruits. We haven't had the highest quality of recruits. And so the NCO class does suffer. So relative to the past, our NCO class isn't as strong, but it's still the best in the world. I can't imagine any other military with a strong, even those units that are fighting now, like the units fighting in Ukraine, the Russians and Ukrainians, their NCO class isn't as great because they don't rely on them, right? To his point, they rely on the officer class. So they're not as good. And the units often do break when the officers are killed. And the Israelis fighting now. Their NCO class isn't great because they're all reservists. Not all, but the huge amount of reservists. So they aren't as tight as the American NCOs. The American non-commissioned officer is still the best on the planet, but not at its peak. I think he has a question that's true. They are not at their peak anymore. That's true. So, all right. So I grab some more of these. All righty. Andrew says, imagine endorsing anyone from duopoly. People do all the time. Yes, people do all the time. Yes. All righty. See if I can grab some of these. Kevin says, do you know how or why the other Republican state Senate candidates for the 2020 election were disqualified? Yes, they were sued off the ballot by Republicans. Kevin, that's what happened. They were sued off the ballot by other Republicans. You know, wait a minute. They don't just sue independents? No. How do you think Obama won his first race? Do your own homework on this. It's true. Obama sued as a Democrat. He sued the other Democrat off the ballot. So he ran unopposed. That's how he won. That's a true story. New York State, same thing. Republicans sue other Republicans. Lawfare is the way. You guys got to, I keep telling you this, and people don't believe me. This is the mob. This is the mafia. It's the mafia. And the judges are all on board. Particularly local judges. They're all on board. They're all about remember something. Judges are not responsible to us. They don't care what we think. They're not responsible to the Constitution either. They don't get impeached or removed. They're responsible to nobody except the party apparatus that gets them put in. So either they get selected or appointed by some party apparatus, whether it's a mayor or governor or whatever, or some other system of appointment, or they get voted in. How do they get voted in? Most of them run unopposed, and they run within their party system. So judges are loyal to their parties, not to us. They don't care about us. Have you seen judges just destroy families, not think twice? Just destroy people, not even care? All the time. That's daily. Judges make terrible, unconstitutional decisions like every day. I've been in court. I've watched them just do it and not care at all. Just do it. What's their repercussion? Nothing. Zero. So they only care about their parties. So if the party infrastructure says get rid of them, they get rid of them. And I might say, wait a minute, Larry, are you saying Republicans, one of those other Republicans gone? Yes. Because, Kevin, the people who were removed, they weren't establishment Republicans. We can't have that. It's New York State. Can't have that. You can't have Republicans in New York State who actually want to get something done. You can't do that. So you got to get rid of them. That's why. And that's, not just Republicans. Democrats do it too. I just told you Obama did it. This is a both parties thing. They will use lawfare in 5 minutes. And most people don't know that's what happened. I do because I follow this stuff constantly. It happens all the time. So that's the answer. They sued them. The Republican Party sued other Republicans off the ballot because they were worried that these Republicans might actually beat the establishment ones. They're like, well, we can't have that. So they got rid of them to make sure they were not accountable to the people. That was the goal. Let's make sure we're not accountable to the people. We're only accountable to the party's infrastructure. Oh, Larry, I wonder why you hate parties. Could this be the reason? There we go, Kevin. So, and again, if you think I'm making this up, do your own homework. That literally happened. That happened earlier this year. That happened before the primaries. Happening, I think, April or May. May. I think May. I think it happened in May. Maybe April. I'm thinking it happened in April. I think April. But yes, it happened earlier this year before the primary. So, okay. Hope that was good for you. All righty. Pinkerbo says, thank you for answering. Of course. Yes, I go out of my way to make that happen. I hope I can. So, all righty. Instant Defense says, Trump 24 is Kennedy 28. Maybe. I think a lot of people want that. I think a lot of people do want that. People are hoping that Kennedy will run in 2028. He might. I mean, he's going to be older. He'll be, 74 then? Which is same age as these other two guys. But obviously, if you've seen him, he's in really good shape for a guy who's 70. So maybe. Yes. Mike says 25 states still allow faithless electors, and it's pretty split amongst 25 being red or blue states. Yes, but they don't. And the reason is, remember this, they allow for it, but who picks the electors? Right? The parties do. They aren't random electors. It's not how that works. The party picks them. So again, it's right back to the same party issue, Mike. So who are these electors loyal to? The party. They're not loyal to you or the state or the Constitution. I mean, that's fantasy. That's just stuff we say to make ourselves feel better. And none of that's true. they're loyal to the party structure. So that those elections would have to go against the party structure, right? So no, I don't. Yes, you're correct. I mean, legally you're correct, but that's not going to happen. I mean, the might there be one or two faithless electors? Sure, one guy or gal who doesn't care, whatever. Sure, could happen. But these people are vetted, right, and selected. Most of them are party loyalists. So the odds of them, it's slim, but it could do. It could do. Yes. So, all righty. Pinkabo says, being the party chair is volunteering to be a punching bag in complaint department. Yes. Thank you, Pinkabo. You get it. Yes. Now you want to pay me $6 figures? You do that? I might do it then. Maybe, I mean, the Democrats do it. DNC, they pay him $6 figures. I think they get paid over 200 grand. Is that right? Someone will check me. It's over 200 grand. I'm pretty sure. So they get paid over 200 grand. You want to pay me $250,000 a year to get yelled at? Done. I'm in, Pinkabell. Yell me all day. Fine. Do that. I'm in. No worries. But you for free. And I can't pay my bills. And I still got to work to pay my bills. I'll pass. I will say thank you, Angela, for taking that job. And Whitney before her. And JBH before him. And Nick Sharpe before him. Thank you for taking that job. I'm not taking it. That's all I'm saying. Thank you. Thank you to all of them for being what you just said, the punching bag, for free. Thank you for all of them. Yes. So, all righty. Liberty Death says the fighting in the LP is insane. How we ended up with Chase as a presidential pick. You guys, okay, I'm going to say it because you brought up LP again. I warned them of this literally at the convention and before. I called people on the phone and told them this, and they ignored me. My words were, the fighting in the LP will be legendary, and it is. It's what I warned them, and they didn't care. They were too busy going, I love Mises, I hate Mises Caucus, oh, I love the COC, I hate the COC. None of that crap matters. Nobody cares. But except for them. I'm sorry. Nobody outside of the LP. Let me clarify that. Nobody outside the LP cares. They don't care. Nobody cares. Need to be able to get a goddamn win in some way, shape, or form. And the win should have been 5% and or electoral vote. And it was doable with my plan, but they would rather fight each other. Well, good luck. There we go. Mike goes on to say, if I was third party, I'd focus on winning main electoral vote. Yes. Yes, that would be great. Win electoral vote. Have one piece be gold if you're a libertarian, or green if you're Green Party, or purple if you're RFK Jr. I don't care. Yes. I agree completely. Yes. Mike goes on to ask, do you really need a famous person to run third party, but not someone like Kanye? I think yes. And I will tell you, back in 2020, before he went off his complete end, if he had actually run a real campaign, he didn't. But if he actually ran a real campaign, he would have been on the debate stage. No, Larry, he wouldn't have made the numbers. Doesn't matter. Remember what the biggest issue of the debate stage is. Biggest issue. What's about fairness? Oh, no. It's about ad revenue. That's the biggest issue. And everyone who's watching this and everyone who's listening, if Kanye West would have been on that debate stage, you would have watched, and you know you would have. I would have watched that. I'd have watched the pregame show, the postgame. I'd have watched all of that. I would have watched it. Yeah, I'd have canceled shit to make sure I watched that. And you would have too. You'd be like, babysitter, we're watching Kanye debate. Guaranteed you would have watched. And then it would have got 100 million people view, 200 million people. The world would have, 1 billion people would have watched the debate. Who knows? There is no doubt if he would have run, he would have been on that debate stage. Now, the problem is, you might say, wait a minute, do we want him on that? I mean, it's Kanye. So there's a massive downside. But if he had been with a party, that party's a party overnight. You may not like where that party's going, but that party is a real party overnight. All the money, time, and energy goes into that party. Yes. So we don't need, no, but it does help. I'd rather it not be Kanye, to be very clear with you. But I think somebody popular really does matter, right? People talk about The Rock running. The Rock would have been a great person to run for whatever. I don't know his politics at all. Is he green? Is he libertarian? Whatever he is, right? Assuming he's one of those, right? Assuming that his politics are close. I would hope they are. Or the opposite. You just make an actual deal with the party. What I mean by that, let's say The Rock wants to run and he's not a Green Party member. I have no idea what his politics are. But you may have to make a deal with the Green Party. You say, hey, Green Party, I'm going to run. I want to use your party line. I'm not green. And a lot of stuff I don't agree with. Here's what I do agree with. But if you let me run your line, you'll get 5%. Give me the VP that you want. Your VP will be set up for the next one. Say he does in 2028. Your VP set for the 2032. Give me your VP. I'll take your VP you pick. That VP will be set for 2032. But I want to use your line to run in 2028. I'm not really agreeing. This is a transactional issue. If he just says that, he might not make it. The Green Party may say no. But that at least would be honest. And the Green Party members can go, you know what? Do we want that or not? They can have an internal fight and decide. Libertarian, go to Libertarian Party. Guys, not Libertarian. But here's what I want. That's what RFK Jr. should have done with Libertarians back last year. He should have come on and said, Libertarians, I'm not Libertarian. I have some Libertarian views. Here's the ones I have Libertarian. Give me your VP that you want. Let me use your line. I'll get you 50 state ballot access, and I'll get you, give me your VP set for 2028. Libertarian Party might have said yes to that. They might have been like, you know what? Okay, it's a transaction. It's open. It's a transaction. Might have happened. Now, it might still said no, but that's the way a famous person could go to any third party. Do a Constitution Party, right? Could do it with them too. You do it with in theory, you do it with any party, but the top three are probably Constitution, Green, Libertarian. You do it with any of those three parties. Just go to them and say, this is a transaction. Give me your VP who will be set up in the next cycle with 50 state ballot access for the next cycle and cash, because I'll bring in new donors. So you'll have cash and 50 state ballot access in the next cycle. Are you in? I think one of the parties would have said yes to that. I don't know which one. I mean, people who are in third parties tend to be more ideologues, or they'd be Democrats, Republicans. So they tend to be more ideologues. So it wouldn't be overwhelming. But if you're just honest and you say that, you got a shot. And I think that could happen. So yes, hope I answered your question. So, all righty. I think I grabbed a bunch of those. I do appreciate that. I got a couple more if I can. You asked that question multiple times. I did answer it though. So yes. John says, Larry, I had a conversation with a New York lifelong Democrat, and his concern about RFK Jr.'s run in New York was only a greedy money grab. If he could establish himself as a third party, decided not to engage. Yeah, remember, when it comes to RFK Jr., you have to simply destroy his character, right? Because that's what, right? The DNC's entire piece has been destroying character. Sadly, Trump's fallen into that, right? His people haven't. If you look at Vance, RFK Jr., Tulsi, they're talking policy. Trump has it. Trump's fallen into Kamala's a bad person. She's a bad person. He's fallen into that, which is a mistake, I think. He should not be doing that, but he's doing it. His team isn't. All Harris does say is Trump's a bad guy, right? Right now, the DNC has run on Trump's a bad guy, hates women. That's their entire thing. So, of course, they're going to say about RFK Jr., he's crazy, he's stupid, he's whatever. Of course, it's because if you do that, right, if you actually do that, then what you wind up doing is you wind up making so don't listen to him. Ignore him. Why would you do that? So, yes. So, anyway, there we go. Let's see. David says, Larry, can you impersonate RFK Jr. in New York? Like, no, I would not do that. I will not tease him. That's a medical issue. I'm not doing that. Thank you for the request. I'm gonna pass on that one. So there we go. Lady Liberty says, there's a blue dot in red Florida, and I live in it. Jacksonville. Yes, there's blue dots in every red state has blue dots. Everyone does. Yes. Everyone does. All right. Ganjin88 says, from New York City, Larry, but I live in Arizona. I have a feeling Trump is going to win Arizona. The towns outside of Phoenix are red. I agree. It looks like he's going to win Arizona. I agree with you. I really think he's going to win this. I think you're correct on this. I think he will. But never know. But I do think that. Pickleball says he's right about New York to Florida, 100%. Yes, it's crystal clear. Liberty Death goes on to say Florida was a swing state in 2016. Then anyone moved there, and it's red. 100%. It used to be a swing state. I see it, right? Remember, I've literally gone across my state multiple times, and I meet people, and then I go back again, and I'm like, where's so-and-so? Nope, gone. What happened? Went to Florida. Where's so-and-so? Gone. What happened? Went to Florida. and I'm just getting, across the state trickles, and you can see the data that many years since 2019, many years, over 300,000 people have left New York State, and a huge chunk of them have gone absolutely to Florida. So Cattle Ya says, "Hi Larry, Trump at the rally in Aurora, Colorado today. Smart move again. Look, Trump's team isn't bad. I want to be clear. I think Harris's team is better, but Trump's team is not bad. It's still a good team. Like, I would still love to have Trump's team, to be clear. I want to be clear. We're talking relatively, right? And Trump's team has been getting better. Like, they've responded, in my views, my personal opinion, take it any way you want. My personal opinion is Trump's team has responded too slowly to the switch from Trump to Harris. They should have been like on it, boom, boom, and they were not. They were not ready. They did not do a fast enough swap. And that might have been Trump. Who knows? He might have been shocked by it too, thought something was wrong, it was bad, and get overturned somehow. Who knows? But they're now starting to make that, as I said last couple of weeks, I'm talking about the ship is moving in the right direction. It is. And I think that's a good move. She goes on to say, and surprisingly had a huge turnout. Do you think Colorado will turn red? I don't. I think Colorado is a solid blue state. I do not think it's going to turn red. However, there are, those who live in Colorado know there are many red districts in Colorado and some swing districts. Again, Trump being in Colorado is gaining support for local Republicans, right? So they can win in their races, they can raise money, and the state party can raise money and put it where they need to, right? Because if Trump's going to win this thing, and I'm assuming he thinks he's going to win, he wants to make sure he has as many people in Congress that he's possibly can get, as many senators, as many Congress people as he possibly can. This is a smart move. Not just that, it will also allow him to have grassroots support in all the states, which means raising money, pushing bills, all those things. This is a very savvy long-term piece. And generally speaking, this is why the local group parties want him to show up. It's a good move, right? But there's something else. When he shows up in Colorado, which everyone knows is a blue state, and he shows up and gets that big piece, it makes people start thinking, maybe this guy can win. What if everyone around him is going, don't vote for Trump, he can never win, come on. If everyone around you is telling you Trump can't win, you start thinking Trump can't win, why bother voting for him? But then I see this thing, oh my God, he's in Colorado, he's in the Bronx, which he was, and he got that I think my friends are wrong, this guy could win this thing. So it does help, right? It creates a good thing. Plus, the more stuff that Trump is doing, the more ubiquitous he becomes. And the more stuff he's doing, if he says something dumb in one thing, and we all say something dumb, not to attack him, but they all say something dumb, the more he does, there's so many other things, it gets drowned out. And eventually become numb to it. So it's actually a smart move. I think it's a great move. But Colorado's deep blue. And but that's Californians who moved to Colorado, who've turned it blue. So yes, blue Californians are leaving. Blue New Yorkers are staying. A lot of them are. Not all, but a lot of them are. Some of them actually are going to North Carolina. Raleigh, right? Am I pronouncing it right? I'm not a North Carolinian. Raleigh is getting a lot of New Yorkers to kind of get that. And a lot of them are blue because it's a college town. So, yes. Proud Vet says, I just saw RFK Jr. in a black barbershop. This is low-key devastating to Harris. I agree. I am from the hood. Every black man you talk to is consumed, that Obama did not do anything to the black. Yes. Yeah. For those of you who either don't spend a lot of time in the black community or don't know much about it, if that's not your world, if you don't have family or friends, or if you're not black yourself, a lot of people, specifically Proud Vet, black men, specifically that, are very unhappy with Obama. Obama made me libertarian. It's true. I've been voting independent most of my first vote was Republican. My first vote was for George H.W. Bush when I was a Marine. After that, I voted for Perot twice. I voted for Nader twice. I was always like, these guys both suck. I'm independent. I don't want these guys. I hated them. I couldn't have told you any of Nader's policies or any of Perot's policies. I just thought they weren't that. So I just did that. 2008, I drank the Kool-Aid. I believed it. I thought Obama was going to be the guy. I bought it. I voted Obama in 2008. And then by 2010, I'm like, what did I do? They suckered me into this? Garbage. I wasn't going to vote again. I was like, I'm out. Doesn't matter. If this guy isn't the guy, there's no guy. There's no guy. There's no guy. It doesn't matter. It's over. I was so disappointed because I felt betrayed by him. The other guys I didn't feel betrayed by. Well, because first, none of them won. So how could they betray me, right? I didn't vote for any winner, so nobody betrayed me, right? So I didn't care, right? But Obama, I felt betrayed by. And I think some black men would agree with me on this, seeing it the same way I saw it. I felt betrayed. And at that point, I was like, I'm out. System is gone. No more. I'm not doing any of it. I'm done. Then I heard Gary Johnson speak in 2012. And I was like, Gary Johnson. What part is he from? The librarians. They must be, libertarian. I thought you said librarian. Oh, okay. Yeah, these guys seem okay, I guess. I don't know. Okay, he makes some sense. Let's talk about him. And that got me to the Libertarian Party. So I wouldn't have been open to the Libertarian Party without my complete unhappiness that way. I think it's a valid point, and I think it does work. And Obama, if you notice, I don't know if you've seen this, Obama's been playing the black card for like the last week because he sees what you see, right? He sees what you see. He's like, Harris isn't winning the black vote. Uh-oh. We're going to have the big guns. Here come Obama, the big guns. And to be forward, people who love Obama, black women, love Obama. They do. You know this. They love Obama. So he's bringing out the big guns. They brought out Obama to go to all the to be Mr. I'm the black guy. Look at me. He's doing that 100%. So look, if I'm Harris, if you get to bring in Obama, I would too. There's a lot of Democrats who look back at Obama as like the golden age of Democrats. You'll hear them say it. Obama taught them to win. Obama gave them hope. You hear it. Democrats love Obama. If I could bring him out, I'm a Democrat. I'm putting him everywhere. I'm agreeing with the move. I think it's a smart move by Harris. She's not winning the black vote. Throw out Obama. See if he can do it. He did it in 2008. I mean, what was it? 98%, whatever it was. I forgot his insane numbers of the black community. Bring him out. I would too. Maybe get some people to come over. I can't see any other answer. I mean, who else you have that can do it? Michelle Obama, maybe. Michelle Obama too. But Michelle Obama doesn't want to be a part of this, right? She wants to show up, do her cool song and dance, and just walk away. Like, I'm done. I did my thing. But if you could bring Michelle out, I'd be all about it. If it's me, I'd have Michelle out every day. If she would do it, right? Michelle is under no obligation to anything, right? Barack kind of an obligation because he kind of helped this happen. So yes. Lunatic Libertarian, thank you for the $5, my friend. From what I see from the lib posts, they are saturated with Trump 24 comments. The public saturation of Harris is manufactured. WW is imminent. It's Israel's playbook. I don't know. And let me tell you why. I'll give you some pushback on this one. Yes, when it comes to some aspects of the internet, I think that's accurate. But I have seen, if you live in a blue area, I don't know if any of you do, but if you live in a blue area, you can see it. When Harris became the nominee, there was a surge in Democrats. Democrats like, oh my God, we could win this thing. Most Democrats thought, if Biden's running this thing, we've lost. Trump's president. It's over. They're like, it's over. Biden can't beat Trump. And I think they were right. I don't think Biden could have beaten Trump. Had no chance of beating Trump. I mean, I saw no way of him winning. I mean, maybe someone saw something. I didn't. There was no way. If you remember, I was calling it. I'm like, Trump won this thing. There's no way. I was calling it back then. I was like, it's over. There's no way Biden could beat Trump. But then when Harris came, I wasn't sure. And then I saw this surge of Democrats. People were registering to vote, getting excited, giving money. Harris has raised $1 billion. You might go, it's just money. Yeah, but that's a lot of money. I'm just saying it's a lot of money, right? Democrats are re-energized. She can beat Trump. I'm not calling it. I know Mike already called it already. I'm not calling it. I'm just saying she can beat Trump. Biden could not have beaten Trump. She can. There's a chance. What I'm saying is if you look on the street, here where I am, people I talk to, my neighbors hate Trump. Hate him. They would vote for anybody over Mao Zedong. They vote for Mao over him. They do not care. Stalin. They vote for Stalin. They would not care. They hate him. And there's a lot of people who feel that way. They think he's anti-woman. He's going to destroy all the women. He's going to destroy the country. They think WW, as you're talking about, he's going to do it. They all think that. So I don't know. I have a little pushback on that one. I'm not sure it's manufactured because I know a lot of people who honestly believe that stuff. I really do. So yes. That literally says Larry's on Rumble. I am head of Larry Sharpe. I'm on Rumble. 100%. I'm right now, and I'm reading some Rumble chats. The Rumble chats have a separate piece here. I have a couple screens up, so I'm trying to read more if I can. I'm trying to. Kim says Clinton was a good speaker. Yes. Clinton was a very good candidate. Very clear when I say that. He was a very good candidate. And he listened and he changed. He was a very good candidate. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Let's see if I can go down here. Andrew says, well, at least we know someone's visiting the Rust Belt for once compared to a certain someone who wouldn't in 2016. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Kim goes on to say, Obama was a great speaker. It makes a huge difference. It does. Yes, it does. This matters, right? That's definitely better. So Andrew says, on that note, Larry, who'd be a better nominee? Old Democrat R. FDR New Dealer or New Democrat Bill Clinton and third way types? It's good. It's a tough one because if the New Deal now is a different type of New Deal now. So you're talking someone who's like a Bernie Sanders type, maybe like that type of FDR New Dealer, a Bernie Sanders type versus a Bill Clinton type. Problem is who gets past the primary, right? Populism is very popular. It is, right now. Left populism and right populism are both very popular. So I could see that when Clinton was kind of a populist, or at least, I'm sorry if he was, but he acted as one. That's what I'll say. But he was more of a moderate, even kind of right populism in a way. He's left populism too with his idea of trying to get healthcare, which he didn't get, but so maybe a little bit left populism too, a little bit. He balanced, right? I would go with Clinton because Clinton knows how to balance. He knows how to balance. Clinton would change and balance, right? He was much more of a chameleon. So I think he would shift and balance. So I'm going to say Clinton. That's a tough one. It's a good question. I think I'd go with Clinton because Clinton would just shift with what would work. He'd be like, oh, that's better. So now I'm more right. Oh, I'm more left. I think he'd do that. Maybe. And I think Clinton probably would have fought to the end where obviously Bernie decided to not do that. So yes. All right. IC says sassy, also known as sassy with Maha. I believe Trump is intellectually lazy like Harris is on most things. The surrogates are doing much of the Maha work. Yes. Right. The mean siblings on Joe. Yes. That's been my point. It feels like two separate campaigns and it bothers me. Right? It bothers me. Yes, I'm totally with you. Absolutely. It does bother me. So, yeah. Instant Defense says politics is mafia. Yes. That is absolutely accurate. Yes, that is absolutely accurate. Ross says, can you please explain what eminent domain means? Yes. Eminent domain is that no matter what, at one point, the government owns everything. Basically what it means. The government owns everything. And the government will then, if it needs to, it can take property if it needs to for the good of the people. Just take your property. It can. However, they are supposed to give you a fair market rate for your property. So they can go, oh, we're building a highway and the people need the highway and your house is in that property. We're going to take your property. I'm not joking. We're just going to buy it. And they buy it at whatever they say market rate is. Yes, that's eminent domain. And they do it legally. You can't stop them. They just do it. And they do it constantly. It's unconstitutional and wrong, and I can't stand it, and it's done all the time. Because it isn't done because they want it or it's for the people. It's because some contractor decides something and pays enough money and gets your property. That's how that works. That's eminent domain. So, Lunatic says, dollars for campaigns, not for the suffering. Pick of loaded birds with aid. Oh, okay. No intent and delivery for the hurricane. Exposed by ex-military. Dollar bills just make me understand they are throwing the kitchen sink to win against Trump. Yeah, couple parts to that. We've set up a system, and this is the part that drives me crazy. We've set up a system where all we do is create constant campaign finance reform. Again and again and again. What do we get from it? More money in politics. We have more campaign finance laws than we've had ever in the history of history. And we have more money in politics in the history of history. And we still have dark money. Yes, and we still have negative campaigning. Nothing's gotten better. This isn't working. You're totally correct. Now, there are people who are suffering. So do they get the money? No, they don't. Because we don't care. We're not responsible to the people. If we were, that would matter. Why would you when everything's gerrymandered? Why would you when the only that matters is 7 swing states? Why would you? There's no reason to. The incentives aren't there. They aren't there. I'd rather follow Pinkerbell's idea of changing the electoral college that way to make every state matter. Maybe you would care about these types of things. Maybe you would. But why bother? Not just that, the system inside the Congress is the same. You can't pass any laws unless the Speaker of the House says so. Some of you don't know this. If you get your congressperson to go to Washington, they can't just put a bill up to be voted on. No. Speaker of the House decides what gets voted on. Yes. So you have a great bill. I'm not voting on it. Why? Because I'm Speaker of the House. I say no. Done. That's not in the Constitution. They just made that up. Just done. No, not doing it. Nope. But it's going to help people. I don't care. How do I get paid? What? How do I get paid? You don't get paid in this. Well, then we're not voting on it. Done. That's how that works. So you are correct in everything you just said. Yes, it's terrible. And the goal is victory, not to help us. The goal is victory, not to make things better. The goal is victory. Power is the goal. It isn't to fix anything. That's like secondary. I got to fix something, fine. I'll fix something. I guess I will, right? That's it. So, yes. All righty. Let's see if I can go down here. If I have anybody I got to grab real fast. And Phil says, I think landlords should sue the states for eminent domain when the state arbitrarily suspends. Oh, yes. Evictions doing. Yes, they suspended evictions. You're right. Yes. So whenever they decide it's okay, whenever they don't decide it's not okay. 100%. 100%. I agree with that. That's great. Yes. I think that's terrible. 100%. So the AC says Obama likes his kite surfing. Mm-hmm. I don't think he needs the adulation of the crowds like Cheeto Mussolini does. That's funny. Instant Defense says snake oil salesman Obama was, but a good one and one that I fell for. So yes, absolutely. Joel says that H guy from Austria was a great speaker also. Yeah, and also won some elections. So yes, helped his party win some elections. Remember, the guy with the funny mustache from Austria who took over Germany, that was not via violence. That was via their system. In fact, you know what, Joel? I am going to do a show on broken democracies. Yes, I'm going to do a show on broken. You just give me a show idea. Next week, I'll do it. Guys, I'm going to have to run. Before I run, please click that like button if you haven't already. It really does matter. I know I bug you. Please do it. Click the button that is like. It matters so much. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, please share this so that people see it. If you have not subscribed and don't follow the page you're looking at, Why Do You Hate Me? Please do that. It matters in every single case. If you really want to help, become a member. Head over to Larry Sharpe YouTube. Click that join button. It's $5 a month. It keeps me doing more of this and less of other stuff. I do have to run though. I have to go to a very special thing to help out a buddy of mine. I'm heading there right now. So I will not be on again. I know I've been gone for a while. I won't be on tomorrow night. I will try to do something on Sunday night if I can. Otherwise, I will be on Monday for sure. I will see you all very soon.